Good morning and good afternoon, depending on wherever you at. The time of this recording, this is episode 118 of the Restricted Zone podcast. And before I introduce the crew, the usual cast, we got a special guest hopping on this episode 118, Jarod from Straight to the Point Podcast. Introduce yourself to the people out there, man.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Straight to Point Pod. My co-host isn't here, but we don't need that hater on the show anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's nice to be here. I always love hopping on this podcast with y'all. Y'all be talking the real shit from time to time.
Oh man, well, I can't be more than glad for you to have you on this podcast. I listen to your podcast, listen to your episodes. You and Chris got the most unique takes I've ever heard, and I can't wait for you to bring.
I got the music. You don't want to talk about him.
You don't want to talk about it? Ah, Chris,
he's not here. He's not here. I can talk all my trash now.
Listen, and I'm more than happy for you to give your thoughts and perspectives on this episode. And with that, I'm swinging to Kyrie. Kyrie, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Yo, what's going on, fellas? What's going on, J-Dub? Long time no see. Happy to have you, bro. Let's get to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lodge, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Yo, what's good, everybody? I'm glad to be back. Let's have some fun tonight.
Let's have some fun. Mar, introduce yourself to the people, Mar.
Hello to everyone out there listening. Let's have a good episode today, because I'm looking forward to this one.
Chris, introduce yourself.
The man, the myth, the legend is back. Again, shout out to our special guest, J-Dub.
Oh, bro, intro changed because he won the chip. Yo, that's crazy. I ain't been on the pod with Chris in that long.
Yo, J-Dub. J-Dub, I promise you, as long as Kyle's on the episode, you're in for a freaking treat. I would say the F-bomb, but I'm going to get to later because I know I'm saying it.
Okay, Kings, Nuggets, whatever thing you are.
Kings, bro, you was repping the Texans in high school. Stop talking to me.
Yes, with that being said, let's dive straight into basketball. Enough football nonsense. Let's talk about the NBA free agency that's been going on. How many days do we have left to free agency close, Jerry? I think about to the end next week,
so,
maybe this week?
Technically speaking, the NBA free agency is supposed to end. Again, NBA rules are air quotes.
Of course.
NBA free agency is supposed to end around the 12th. I doubt it. Trades are still not finalized.
Right.
Signings have just started being made the 6th. You can't sign to a contract until July 6th. A lot of guys are now being signed, pen to paper. 12th is supposed to be around the end, 12th to 15th, but we don't know what's going to happen. Trades might still occur, signings might still occur up till training camp, and that's not till, September?
Right.
So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, the scrutiny around the NBA, the air quotes, what's supposed to end, it doesn't end. Like, we've seen guys get picked up in October, December.
Listen,
I don't trust the NBA as long as you can throw them when it comes to who can get signed and traded.
Listen, man. But you know what? I think it's one of the best. I bet it's one of the best off seasons in a minute. I mean, dang, it's a lot to even talk about. But listen, let's get started with it. And J-Dot, you're the special guest of this show, and I'm gonna start with you first. But this is what I want to do is tell everyone. In this episode, we're gonna talk about the best free agent signings, so far, the teams that definitely took advantage of this all season, the teams that made questionable signings or we just don't look very favorably upon. And last but not least, some of the most underrated signings that we might have overlooked and say, hey, this guy can make an impact for this team in the next upcoming season. So, Jada, I'm going to start with the first question. Which team so far is your winner for this 2023 free agency and why?
Oh, easily. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't think it's the Lakers. Like when you think about in totality,
Thank you.
The Lakers team put together a 6-seed team, right? Like if you think about what they did in the trade season, they got D'Angelo Russell, Vanderbilt. They somehow propelled Darwin Ham, propelled Austin Reeves to show me that he's not only is he a starter, but he's better than Alex Caruso, right? And I thought they lost Alex Caruso, they were going to be bad. He's better than him. Now they went to this offseason. They got Gabe Vincent, who can compete with D'Lo to be a starter. They re-signed D'Lo on a cheaper deal. That's huge for them. Market value is huge. We talk about the second tax apron that CJ McCollum, the president of the NBA, signed off on. It's huge for them. They re-signed Austin Reeves. Huge. That's 3 players right there. You bring in Cam Reddish. I think Darwin Ham, who showed me he's a development guru right now. Again, that could be a stretch, but he's developed players throughout this season to show me that he has the Rui mentality. You got the Austin Reeves gear shift. The Vanderbilt gear shift. He brought all three of those players back. Bring Cam Reddish. That's a huge signing. Gabe Vincent's a huge signing. Off the bench, starter for the playoffs, starter for regular season, whatever. Jackson Hayes, huge signing. They revamped their team where they brought back the same core pieces, but they brought in better talent-wise, where they can now either push for the highest they can be, I think, is a 3rd seed. The lowest they'll be is a 7th seed. For them, that's good because they just was the conference finals teams and nobody believed they were going to make the conference finals. For LeBron, that shows you enough to know that, one, your GM and Rob Pelinka is doing the job that he told you he was going to do. He was going to keep talent around you and AD because they still have Anthony Davis there, who now either is going to be your number 1 or he'll be your number 1/2/3 because at the end of the day, they have guys that can step up whenever it matters. I think the Lakers clearly swept when it comes to this free agency. Like, they won. Because at the end of the day, as long as you make LeBron happy, knowing that his son's about to get drafted within a year, you're happy because at the end of the day, you still want his level of basketball to be at his peak. He's 39 years old. He just made a conference finals. Yeah, they got swept, but they just made a conference finals. Nobody thought that team was going to make it that far. I thought they was going to lose in the play-in. I did. I didn't think they were going to make it past the play-in. They swept that and above. Now you kept the team, brought in better players, brought in talent that Ham could develop as long as they buy into the system. I think they won the free agency because like who did better than them when it comes to keeping your stars happy and healthy, and then bringing in talent that can support them. So I think the Lakers won.
Absolutely. Now that you broke it down, all right, and that's fair. You made some fair points, reasonable, and definitely. I didn't think about the Lakers at all. But so if that was your clear-cut winner, do you have it as 1A and 1B, or do you just have it 1 and then who's your number 2? And then we're just gonna leave that off.
I have the Lakers as my 1.
Right.
My number 2 might be the Pacers. To be honest with you, I might be honest with you. It might be the Pacers. Nobody's talking about them, but I'm a gambler. If you talk about a team that can make the play-in or playoffs, wait till the NBA drops or FanDuel drops who they think is the odds on that. Buy in quickly before it's too late. The Bruce Brown signing, yeah, it might be an overpay, but it was huge for them. The trade for Obi Toppin, I don't know if you count that as free agency wise because he's a free agent, but that's a huge trade because they've always been looking for wing depth. Yeah, Jalen Smith was cool. Yeah, Bennedict Mathurin is going to be a starter or a bench player, but bringing Bruce Brown and Obi Toppin solidifies that starting 5 where you can now run Tyrese Halliburton, who's a max contract player. You guys money now. You can run Buddy Hield at the 2, Bennedict Mathurin at the 3, Obi Toppin at the 4, Miles Turner at the 5. That team's a sleeper for the play-in/playoffs now. It is. Bruce Brown can either come off the bench or he can start train. That's a training camp decision. It's not a free agency decision. It's a training camp decision. I don't care how much money he's making. Because we've seen bench players make more or less depending on how they play. Right. But the guys they brought in were huge for them because at this point in now, you have to be bought in to this team saying we got to make playoffs. They cannot keep trying to rebuild. You traded for Tyrese Halliburton. That dude's a franchise point guard. Hot take. I'll say it now before y'all come at me later. I think Tyrese Halliburton is better than Trae Young. I do. That's me personally, but I think he's better than Trae Young. So if I go with that belief system in mind, a guy that averaged only 4 points less than Trae Young on less usage, averaged the same assist, shot better from the 3.
Late line.
He has to make the playoffs. He has to make the playoffs in the play-in. This was the free agency to do that. So I think that's my second team to win the free agency. They did their job. They brought in core guys to help their 2-star players. Like, I don't worry about the big name signings. I worry about the signings that help fill a strength or cover a weakness. And they did that. And I think they won that free agency as well.
All right. Listen, I love your takes. I always love your takes. Listen, Kyrie, I'm going to swing to you. Do you agree with what J-Dot said? If not, who do you have as your 1 and who would you be as your number 2, so far in the free agency in terms of making impacts?
Yeah, so he actually shouted out the team I was going to shout out as having the best free agency in the Lakers. I'm going to keep it short because he hit a lot
My man. Come on, bro.
I really like the Taurean Prince signing because off the bench,
I didn't talk about him.
He's a solid switchable defender that can guard multiple positions. He's an okay.
I never thought I'd hear somebody just mention Taurean Prince.
What the hell is going on? You forget.
Hold on. We're talking about I'm talking about signings as far as role players helping out a team that can't
I
get this
know what you're
aspiration.
talking about. I just did not expect it. I know, and I know Tory Prince went there. I just did not expect to hear his name first, just off of the list
Well,
of
I'm
people
working.
that they
I'm working
got.
my way up. I'm working my way up.
So you start from the bottom of the barrel to work your way up.
Whoa, bottom of the barrel is crazy.
I mean, why
That's
not?
crazy.
Start off with all the juicy stuff first. When we can knock off the little stuff, then we get to the main.
Okay.
We get to the main.
All right, my bad. I'll apologize. Go ahead, continue. My bad.
I done lost track. I forgot what I was talking about, low
He
key.
cut you off when you was
Sorry.
he messed you up.
I low key.
Tory
I'll
Prince.
go. Then some. As far as the other news signs that Jarod pointed out, and Cam Reddish, who, in my opinion, hasn't gotten a fair shot at certain points in the league. With the Hawks, he showed to be pretty good as a microwave scorer. Then they shipped him off to us, where he bumped heads with Tom Thibodeau and said to just stop playing him. Then he went to Portland, where he showed some life and showed to be able to put the ball in a bucket like we know he can. So I think he could come to LA and again as an off the bench player, so a guy that can fill in for nights when Bron's hurting or when Bron's out, and give you a good 15, 17 points, contribute to wins too from a good clip from the outside. I like that signing. Jackson Hayes is another depth like big man signing. He's a rim runner. All these young guys, I feel like it's just guys that they're going to help kind of develop and grow along the way because they haven't really showed much like in their previous stops as young players. And Jackson came in the same year and kind of had some most of a couple years in the first few seasons in the league. So I think being in a team like this with a bunch of veterans with a core of guys that's been to a championship before, I think they can help them guys grow. And now to like their like re-signing, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a huge fan of the D'Angelo Russell re-signing. I get why, because I guess one, they didn't see themselves as being part of the Dame sweepstakes, and two, there wasn't really many other point guards out there I see outside of Fred VanVleet, who we'll talk about later, signing with the Rockets. Outside of them, I didn't really see anybody else that they could actually go after and like make work for them as they start at point guard. So
let me ask you a question. I
I
don't mean to cut you off. Let me ask you a question. I'm kind of with you on it, but like when you talk about D'Lo, his peak was what off the Nets, 120 million with the Warriors, right?
Absolutely.
You're now getting him on a discount of what 17 million. You weren't a fan of that? Like 17 million a year doesn't hurt my feelings. And I'm a Sixers fan. I wish he'd bring that up. Like I'm a Sixers fan.
It's D'Lo.
17, but that's what I'm saying. Like 17 million for D'Lo.
No.
In this NBA CBA,
D'Lo.
I'd love that. I would love that.
Talking about a discount on D'Lo.
And my whole thing is the whole reason I said that is because I know when it comes down to it, and we've seen it, bro. He's gonna fold in the playoffs. He's gonna.
But that's cool. You got Gabe now.
That's cool.
That's where I'm like, I'm
why is that cool from the starting point guard?
Why bring it back then?
At one point was an all-star.
A discount for a choke artist.
A discount for a choke artist. Crazy.
A discount for somebody that's gonna choke.
That's like the Sixers give James Harden a 2-year deal, friendly deal. Discount for a choke artist.
I mean, if
exactly.
Side note.
Oh my goodness.
If Harden want to take a team-friendly deal, 17 mil, I'm gladly taking that. But when I'm thinking of like D'Lo, Gabe, whatever D'Lo issues is when it comes to clutch moments, Gabe doesn't have that come playoffs, right? Gabe has the Jimmy Butler switch. It's just not Jimmy Butler fashion scoring and defensive presence, right? That's what LeBron and AD is supposed to do for you. So if D'Lo's corny in the playoffs, you can't play him. Well, Gabe got the bread.
But at the same time, bro, you gotta understand your limits when you come to your stars, though. What was their problem this postseason? Anthony Davis playing through injuries, not playing 100%. It's the same thing with Bron. Bron was nowhere near 100% playing. He was still going out there.
You got Jackson Hayes, you got Rui, you got Vanderbilt.
Oh my Lord.
Bron.
But those are the best guys. I'm talking about from when
I'm naming you guys where teams love that.
Guys that going to be out there for 30-plus minutes a game. Jackson Hayes not going to be out there for 30-plus minutes a game. Gabe Vincent not going to be out there.
He said if D'Lo's not coming through, you got Gabe Vincent.
You're gonna have to have.
Oh my Lord!
Why are we on Gabe Vincent? Like Gabe Vincent.
Yo, these names,
Hold on. I'm not hating on Vegas.
Wait, hold on. One at a time. Go ahead, Mark. Say what you gotta say.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, I've heard a lot of people saying the Lakers have a good free agency. I'm not buying their team. I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying the signings, bro. Cam Reddish, every team he goes on, bro, they do him dirty. I don't expect Cam Reddish to do anything. Ain't nobody worried about Jackson Hayes. Ain't nobody worried about Jackson Hayes catching oops, bro. He gonna get his blocks. Anthony Davis is only gonna play 12 games. Bron's 40 years old. He's only gonna play 50 games, and I rock with Bron. But you can't put all this on Bron. D'Lo was the same one that went like 3 for 13 in the game and stayed 2 hours later putting up shots. And then the next game put up 4 shots. Nobody worried about that. How you stay 2 hours after the game practicing jump shots just to shoot 4 the next game? Ain't nobody worried about him. Like I'm just not buying it, bro. I just don't. And then you throwing out Gabe Vincent after that. Like after that, you throwing Gabe Vincent. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Whoa.
Mark got a good point though. Mark got a good point.
No, he don't got a good point. He slandering Gabe Vincent like that. What's wrong with him?
I'm not saying that because he's down and Gabe Vincent, but at the same time, he highlighted the Lakers' weaknesses as a whole. So we're at the point where guys like Gabe Vincent and Jackson Hayes and Torrey Prince, they very well much could not matter. But if Anthony Davis is going to be out and not playing at 100%, he's not playing at full strength. He's not giving you his 28 and 14. And Bron not doing the same thing. He's not playing at his full strength and not giving you what he need, like what you need as far as him out of him to win. Then you can't really trust D'Lo as far as playoff situations. The next person you really got to look to is Austin Reeves.
Let me ask y'all the next question. Colin, I hate to cut you off as the host.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I'm of the belief, right? This is just me. Y'all might disagree. I'm of the belief that at this point in time, when we watch the NBA, there's the new in-game tournament, whatever's supposed to happen. It counts as a regular season game. The tournament's supposed to count.
Oh, yeah, I'll get me started on that shit.
If you have a superstar, AD LeBron.
Talk about this,
I don't believe superstars should play more than 62 games in the season. That's my belief. I just think like 82 games is too much as is.
Wait.
62 games is the right number for a superstar. If I believe a 17-game season, now you need a D'Lo, you need a Gabe, you need a Cam. Guys to play the last because I don't think your superstar should play more than 62 games.
Wait, Jay, hold on.
Listen, wait. Listen. So what if you're a superstar on a team like the Pelicans, right? Preseason, we looking at guys like Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson on that team preseason, like, yo, this team can make a conference championship with all the depth they got, the talent they got. This team can make it to the conference finals. And what's the sole thing they got in the way of that? Zion playing 26 games and Brandon Ingram missing like 30, 40 games.
So now hear me out. Because of the fact that Zion got hurt in meaningless basketball games, right? Why not? We've seen the philosophy work when it comes to not only Kawhi Leonard, who created this whole trend, but guys before him where I think Pop created the trend. Nobody talks about how Pop really sneakily created the trend.
Of course.
If you look up the stat numbers, the last time Tim Duncan really played 82 games in the season might have been his rookie season. After that, his numbers truly went down when it came to games played. Why? Because Pop made sure your top superstar stayed healthy going into the playoffs. Pop is the inventor of my superstar should never play more than 62 to 65 games in the season. I feel like Kawhi highlighted it because Kawhi was trying to get out of the Spurs, right? He highlighted it, but it was happening for years before. It was something that was already taking place, but Kawhi highlighted it because he was trying to get out of the Spurs system. He was trying to set up his own little, I'm trying to have my staff around me, coach around me, training staff around me. I'm trying to run my body right. But I feel like the philosophy is right, though. I don't hate Kawhi for saying, yo, 82 games is too long for a season. Because if we complain about baseball having 190 games, 82 in basketball is too long because at the end of the day, 15 of them games in basketball are dead basketball games. We don't care. We're not watching games 72 to 82. We're not. I don't care no more because my playoff seed, the X has already been stamped in the standings. The X has already been written. So at that point, why is my superstar still playing when he can now get hurt one game in before the season? Like, I'm literally a Sixers fan. I've seen Embiid break his nose because Maxey ran into him game 65. Embiid shouldn't have been playing that game. We made the playoffs. So at this point, I'm thinking, if you're a team now going forward, you sign these nice, we're not even above average role players, 65 games is what I want for my stars. 65 games. I need you to play 65, and at that point, we're either standings high or we're trash.
Hold on, J-Dub. All right, so Chris talk, and then Mar. Go ahead.
No, I don't have nothing to say. I just be having my interruptions.
Okay.
I had to do them real quick because I disagreed. That's all.
I mean, you gotta tell me why though, because like, what do you?
I'm about to tell you why. I'm about to tell you why.
Chris, go ahead, Chris.
I'm about to tell you why. I don't think what you're saying is wrong. I will start by saying that I don't think what you're saying is wrong, but you gotta look at it in a certain context. When Pop was really starting to do that rest and play stuff, you gotta remember Tim Duncan and his other big stars, Tony Parker and Manu, were well into their 30s. Well into their 30s.
We're getting older.
So there was no point in them to even try to play back-to-back games, which is why he started doing that. Now, Kawhi, on the other hand, during that time was in his mid-20s, which means he had fresh legs, so he could be able to go through all those games. Now, yes, the way you said, he abused the system with his quote-unquote injuries and just basically forced his way out of San Antonio. That is cool. And I do agree with the fact that superstars should not play all 82 games. I will agree with you on that. But you got to think about it like this. Here's how I think about it. Somebody like Bron, I guess I'll say Kevin Durant now because he's kind of up there in age. I will say Kevin Durant. But you got to understand, people like them, I'll give them a pass to wanting to rest games because of their age. But I'm not going to give somebody a pass who's like AD. AD just turned 30. AD going to get hurt. Like, that's cool. But if he wasn't getting hurt, I want him to play.
I feel like you got to give him a pass. The injuries, man. The injuries have ruined them.
I understand that, but you also got to understand, like, when it comes down to those last 15 games, yeah, your team might have clinched the playoffs, but it's also about seeding. Like, the reason why everybody in the West was playing their starters for most of the season going down the stretch is because everybody wanted to get the 6th seed to play Sacramento in the first round for very obvious reasons. They were an immature team. Very immature team. And you see what happened. The immaturity took over. There were reasons why people wanted to do that. There's reasons why you still put your stars in. Sometimes people keep the stars in just for better seeding. So that way you can get a home court advantage. You can get a home court advantage before you have to go on the road. Something. I mean, like what you're saying isn't wrong. I don't want to say it's not, because you're not wrong what you're saying. But I feel like you look at it from a certain context, which isn't a bad thing. But you got to look at the full picture, I think. That's just my opinion. I disagree with you, not because you're wrong, but because it's like I just look at things differently than how you're looking at them.
All right, Chris, great analysis. I'm gonna swing it to Mark, J-Dub to get your response. Kyrie finish it off, and then I swing it back to Lodge because Lodge got to get his take in. Then I got to bring it back full circle. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, Chris really covered it because it's like if you're in your mid-20s, if you're not aging, it's like why not play 82 games if you can? Like Lebanon James only missed 17 games in his first 20 years. Oh my
God!
Like his first 18 seasons, the man's only missed 17 games. Like, and some players can't even afford to do that. Like, what team has he been on where he was allowed to rest? I feel like if you're allowed to rest, that's only because your team is good. If your team is trash, you can't sit on the bench. You can't sit out games. So I just feel like if you have a loaded team where you have depth on your team, of course you could sit out. But you know what I mean, if you're trying to make the playoffs and achieve your greatness and you don't have nobody on your team, you got to play as many games as you can. That's all.
All right, J-Dub, go ahead and swing it back to Kyrie. Go ahead, J-Dub.
So my only rebuttal to all this is what you guys have described to me is early 2000 Kobe basketball. What you described to me is the Kobe era. We're not in the era no more. It's just, I hate to tell y'all, but we only getting older. I'm not getting no younger. I got a little brother, little sister. We only getting older. The eras have changed. We got guys now that are coming into the NBA, dodging cases, surviving trials. Like we got the eras have changed where nowadays players are getting hurt, rolling their ankle, and they don't see like what we just saw Brandon Ingram not play for a bruised toe. This is something that dudes would have played through their entire career. That toe would have been so black and blue. Like, if this was KG Kobe era, Kobe walked onto the court with a meniscus. I'm just saying, though, Kobe walked back on the court with a meniscus and shot the free throw. He was ready to keep playing. Brandon Ingram sat the entire season. It's the eras have changed. We're now in the modern era.
No, chill out, my man toe. My man toe could have been really swollen.
82 games over. 72 games should be the norm. Let's talk about now. Now you got guys that have super injuries. They missed their rookie season. Chet Holmgren missed their rookie season.
Yeah, no business playing that summer league.
Air quotes rookie this season. Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. That's my guy. Air quotes rookie season after missing a full year of basketball. They literally got the chance to not only train with their players, train with the team, but they now need to develop their skill set and go into the next year, which should be their sophomore year, but counts as a rookie year as superstars. This is how it is. So we have to now take a credit for that and say, you know what, yo, if I'm a playoff team that wants to go make the playoffs, the play-in tournament, which is now playoffs to me, that helps me out because I don't care about my seeding no more. I just want to play a team that I know we can beat. So when you talk about the Warriors and the Clippers and whatever was fighting for the 6th seed, why? Because they know they can beat the Kings. Why can they beat the Kings? Because the Kings have been poverty for 21 years. I don't care that's it. They've been poverty. I'm gonna go bust their cheeks.
Yeah, that
whatever
Chris.
seed I get. So at the end of the day, that's
Bro,
how I see it. Steph Curry sat for 15 games this season when he didn't have to.
I hate to do this to you. Jay, I really hate to do this to you. I hate to do this to you because you're getting great analysis. But somebody in that fucking peanut gallery just had to open their damn mouth again, like his nut ass team like doing something. Somebody just had to open their damn mouth.
I didn't say.
Bro. Remember what I said. The Kings have been to the fucking conference finals more recently than y'all had. You have no room to talk. You still find ways to do it.
And I'm
here we go.
I'm biased, but I know my team is trash. What I'm saying is, if the Sixers had developed this philosophy early, let's be for real. If the Sixers developed this philosophy 2 years ago, we might have sustained Embiid's career where now we're not talking about we should have re-signed Jimmy. We should have drafted Mikal. If we developed this philosophy where Embiid came off an injury, know what, yo? 62 games, cap him out. He already lost. He lost Rookie of the Year to Malcolm Brogdon. Let's talk about that. Malcolm Brogdon, that's crazy.
He ended 160 of the year.
At this point, you're either fighting for MVPs, you finally got one, or you're fighting for playoffs, and he gets hurt every year. Let's start sustaining his health. I don't care if he wants to play as a front office, because my issues now, front office issues. Front office should realize my players, superstars. The role players aside, that's what this real debate's about. Role players, right? My role players should play 82 games because they need to.
Hold on. You talking about the Sixers right now, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Come on. Yeah, we get it.
Why?
Bro, they not even a topic of the discussion tonight. They're not even a topic of the discussion.
Talk about
why
are we talking about irrelevant things right now?
All right,
because when we talk about the Lakers free agency, we brought in guys that are now going to play the games when LeBron's sitting, right? They're going to play the games that AD's sitting because now you brought in guys and talent, which makes them an A free agency because they brought in guys and talent that can still win you meaningful basketball games when AD's out. Because we know for a fact going in, knock on wood, but at this point, he's missing 20 games. He's missing them. He ain't going to see the court for 20 games because he's going to either roll his ankle, he's going to sprain his toe, or he's going to hurt his rib cage. At this point, we know they're going to miss these games. So now you got
hold his rib cage.
Now you got a Rui Hachimura. Now you got an Austin Reeves that they're going to drop their buckets. Ham's going to turn Cam Reddish into whatever he's going to turn them into, but they're going to win you them games where they got to play, let's say, like another perennial team, CP3 and the Warriors. They're going to play them,
CP3 and the Warriors.
And that's a dub that counts towards their playoff record. That's why I think that's an A win, because at the end of the day, LeBron can sit for at least a smidgen of NBA basketball. Because 39-year-olds still trying to play 82 games is ridiculous to me. It doesn't make no sense. Mind-boggling.
J-Dub. All right, let me swing it to Kyrie, finish it off, and swing it to Lodge. Lodge been dying to talk.
Yeah, no. We talked enough about the Lakers. The only other I kind of wanted to bring up as far as like me liking really. One, I gotta shout out the Knicks, even though we weren't super active whatsoever.
This guy.
Listen. Dante DiVincenzo for like $12 million a year.
Stop.
Come on.
That was the one John.
I'm a Villanova fan.
One, we addressed the need in outside shooting with signing him. He's a good perimeter defender. he's a good connector and playmaker, and somebody that can help flow with the offense. He played with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart already before. Won a championship with the guys. Like, come on. I just had to, again, we weren't super active. We ain't do nothing crazy. We ain't do something I really wanted to see us do. But as far as finding out that Vincenzo on a slight deal like that, I had to give it a shout out. And as far as like an under the radar, like really underrated signing, I really like this dude Sasha Vesnikov from the Euro League that the Kings signed. Euro League MVP, put up 17 and 7 a game, and straight up bucket getter. Straight up bucket getter. If y'all haven't watched him yet, y'all gotta watch him. Straight up bucket getter. He's a sniper from outside. He's got a big body at like 6'8". He get in the paint. Got a nice little floater game, bro. He might get some of the young boys this year run for rookie of the year. I ain't even gonna hold y'all or for first team all rookie. I ain't even gonna hold y'all.
That's got to be on the lookout for him.
That's definitely somebody. I seen the Kings sign. I never seen him before. I looked into him like, oh, he could be a secret weapon for them for sure. And the guy, I think that his deal was super cheap too. I think he got like $17 million a year for a couple of years, something like that. So that was a very underrated signing that I wanted to shout out because I like that the Kings would got him.
Notice, I'm gonna make sure I just move past before we get to that part of the aspect. Lodge, who's the biggest winner so far in the free agency, and then who's your second, that runner up? Lay it out for me, Lodge.
Well, honestly, the Lakers was going to be involved in one of them, but I don't even. they put a bad taste in my mouth now, so I don't even want to talk about them no more. But I have to go with the Celtics. I think one. Well, yeah, the Zen God, feel me? Christian Wood nowhere to be found. Christian Wood nowhere to be found, by the way. Yeah, you're crazy, but Christian Wood nowhere to be found though.
I'm not crazy. I saw that video with Luka. I had no faith in that man no more.
You said you had no faith in who?
As you called him, the Porzingis bum.
Oh,
crazy, bro.
I saw what he did with Luka. I have no faith in him anymore.
You saw how the Mavericks ruined him and played him and didn't play him to his
Thank you,
they
Kyrie.
made him a pick and pop. They made him a pick and pop. They got 7-3. All he did was shoot 3. That's all he made him do.
And Boston is gonna do is play like Al Horford because Al Horford's getting old.
Lodge, wait, all right, Lodge,
go ahead. Al Horford, wait.
Go ahead, Lodge. Finish it off, Lodge. Finish it off before you get the bar.
Chris want me to argue with him, and I don't. I'm gonna just say Christian Wood is the
I don't want to hear bona fide Scrub's name right now. That's all.
Who else you gonna talk about then? I'm confused.
No, my free agency sucks. In my opinion, free agency be terrible.
All right, Chris. Whatever. Anyway, Celtics made a nice little move. I think they should have moved on from Marcus Smart. I think what hurt them the most was losing Marcus Smart, but I think they ended up having to anyway, considering like kind of what he kind of gets away with. I think he gets in a way with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in a way that's not like malicious, but the way he plays on the court at times, he kind of takes away from them, especially in clutch moments. Bro be shooting like he Clay or something. Like bro really not him on that Jimmy, bro. He just don't.
Jaylen Brown?
Oh my God, y'all want to argue today, Doug? I don't get it.
I enjoy it.
It's not even the aspect of him messing with the flow of the offense or anything like that. I feel like they kind of those two kind of needed him because one, he's the one that kept the balance and he kept them trained, like he kept shit in motion. He
did. He's like the heart and soul of the Celtics.
He's kind of pretty much what Draymond Green is to the Warriors, even though they don't deal with his biggest personality for outside of Draymond. Like Marcus Smart was kind of is pretty much the same thing as them to the Celtics, bro. He's the one that kept things in check. He's the one that held people accountable, and he's the one that had that players meeting when it was all that talk last season was like, oh, Tatum and Brown can't play together. They can't play together. One of them got to go. Jaylen Brown got to go. He's the one that had to call that players only meeting. He's the one that talked to them straight up. Was like, yo, this is what we got to do. And what happened? They got
turned it around.
But they got to the finals.
Bro, and then the same old happened. Yeah. Jalen carries the whole way through, then he folds in the finals, and then Tatum just never connects the whole time.
Everybody folded.
Wait, Lodge. Sorry. So that's your number one team, the Celtics. Who's your runner up? I gotta swing it tomorrow after this.
I don't even have a runner-up. I'm actually See, we ain't talking about no disappointments. First of all,
can we please let's get to the disappointments. Let's get
Disappointments?
I'm gonna start out.
Please bring up the Suns.
All right, no, wait, hold on, Mark, go ahead. Who's your winner so far in free agency? Who you winning?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Bro, these guys are like the band of existence, bro. These two dudes are like the three, like they like mad dark, bro.
Great, Craig.
Nobody's challenging, bro. At the end of the day, nobody made a move that's gonna challenge the Nuggets, bro. At the end of the day, nobody made a move that made they can beat Denver. Nobody made that move, bro.
Listen to
nobody
him.
made a move.
Yeah, the caller.
Nobody made that made me be like, oh my, Denver's in trouble. I'm not looking at it like that. I don't
he's right though.
I'm just gonna say, listen to Mark. Let me ask y'all this now.
Chris said it for the rest though.
This
free agency all honestly been garbage. It's been garbage.
Bro, it's been terrible.
Like nobody really got better.
Bro, like we sitting up here talking about Gabe Vincent for goodness sake.
All right, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, boy.
Yeah, I don't post on that.
Watch him.
Hold on. All I'm saying is my man Kyrie said Dante DiVincenzo for $12 million and everybody starts sighing. But people want to bring up Gabe Vincent. No. I don't even have an answer.
Thank you.
This is
No,
just stuff
I didn't sign. I didn't.
Like, come on.
No, I didn't. No. That's not why I sighed.
See, I got
That's not why I sighed, though. That's not why I sighed.
All right, let's listen. All right, so we're gonna go to disappointments. I'm gonna start with Kyrie first. Kyrie, who's your biggest disappointment?
Disappointments. The whole thing.
Yeah, but Chris is right. The whole free agency low-key been disappointed. But it's the Suns. The Suns adding bench pieces.
What?
Drew Eubanks, Shemezi Metu.
Like,
come on. Don't forget. Yo, you forgot Eric Gordon. You gotta put Eric Gordon up there too.
Hey,
Eric Gordon.
Hey,
he's supposed to be on the playoff squad like 4 years ago.
But that's all he's gonna do.
Take it off, J-Dub. Take it off. The disrespect.
You said this is. What are we doing? Listen, Aaron Gordon has 2 cents. He's either on fire or he's ice cold. There's no in between. You want that on your team?
No. You're describing the wrong player on that team. You're describing the wrong player.
No, I'm just describing
Who you talking about, bro? You really about not to sit here talking about Bradley Beal all day.
No, first of all, I'm never talking about Bradley Beal. That's a loser too. God, I sound like you're
making
me
loser.
You're making me sound like
is he not? Is he not?
A loser?
That's tough.
Bro, he do nothing. John Wall left.
What's tough about
He do nothing. John Wall
that
left.
doesn't do nothing? It's Michael Porter Jr.
He don't.
Whoa!
Can I please say something?
Whoa! Hey yo! No! Not today.
J-Dub, hold on.
We're talking about.
Wait, hold on. He was sitting here acting like that was the only thing he sat there and did, though. That's crazy.
Hold on. Time out. Wait, J-Dub. Hold on. Time out.
You're right. That's not fair.
Time out. Wait,
Chris.
Chris.
He wanted to get rebound and start to play.
Wait, time out. Wait, hold on, Lodge, Chris. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
We are talking about Eric Gordon, not Aaron Gordon. You're thinking of a whole different thing.
Never mind. You got me. I thought you said Aaron. I'm like, whoa. Aaron was
we talking about the Suns. We talking about the Suns. They picked up Aaron Gordon.
I'm thinking y'all was talking because we was on the Nuggets convo. I'm like, no way they just said
They don't even have enough bread to get him.
They don't. They market their whole future off for Bradley Beal, KD, and Book.
Which is
the whole future.
Bro, them 3 players, they take up like $600+ million. That's crazy.
Wait. I forgot to put DeAndre Ayton up there.
DeAndre Ayton. The best big man in the league.
And mind you, DeAndre Ayton is not going to do nothing this season either because he don't got no point guard. He don't got nobody to set
up. You got Devin Booker for him. You ain't like the sample size you saw?
No. Bro, no. Have you seen it?
Tell me when you see the Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton pick and roll.
Bro, they should have traded for Miles Turner 2 seasons ago, bro.
That wasn't the playoff sample size. The playoff sample size was Devin Booker was a kick-out shooter, and he pick and roll with KD. We didn't see him throwing the 8. We don't know in the what?
There's a reason
4.5,
why.
5.
And if it doesn't work,
We
and
don't
if it
know.
doesn't work, who else? They don't have anybody else that can make plays for him. Cam ain't not gonna
They
do
got
it.
Yuta Watanabe.
Oh.
He's a shooter.
Oh,
He's
excuse
a
me?
shooter.
That was their best free agency
Excuse
signing.
me.
That was their best. Utah Watanabe was their best free agency signing.
Oh wow!
Listen,
The absolute best.
I don't see. Y'all making me feel like I'm a Suns defender. I'm not. I think they should still trade Ayton. Mind you, I think they should have been trading Ayton to the Magic. I think they should have been trading Ayton to the Magic.
To the Magic?
Okay, nobody talks about it enough. But if you trade Ayton for like a Wendell Carter Jr. and a Marco Fultz, the deal works.
Hey yo.
I told you to wrap this up 15 minutes ago, Kyle.
Yo, I don't know who he is, bro, but he's bugging.
He said Markel
bugging. He's
No.
bugging.
What am I listening,
Bro,
What
you
did I
been
get
on
myself
two.
into?
Markel.
Markel
I
making too
told
much
you to
money for
wrap
them
it
to
up,
sign.
bro.
Markel.
You playing too much to play.
We do not condone drug use on this podcast. We do not condone drug use on this podcast.
I don't do drugs like that.
I feel like this is a great segue into us talking about the.
Why are we hating on getting a starting 5 of Markel Fultz, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, KD,
That's
Wendell
disgusting.
Carter?
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm with Wendell Carter. Bro, let me just tell you something right now.
I'm with Mari. That's an ill. I'm with Mari. Ill.
That's an L.
First of all,
first of all,
wait, yo, hold on, wait, yo, bro,
Markel
you already done talked enough. Hold on, bro, you're bugging. You're just bugging. Hold on. Where did you even get that from? You was on 2K swimming through the trade, John. You were just swimming through the trade.
I was
Y'all
say the biggest
y'all
losers,
be
but
messing
this
around
is-
with the trade finder. Y'all be messing around with the trade finder. We play 2K.
All right, wait, hold on.
We find deals.
All right, so time out. So I'm gonna swing it to Chris because Kyrie said the biggest disappointment for him with the Suns. Chris, in your opinion, if you have one, of course, who's the most?
I got a ton. Yeah.
Go ahead, Chris.
What you want to go? I can start with the Rockets. Who the hell gives Dylan Brooks $80 million? Let's start with that. Let's start with that. Come on now. Let's be for real.
Bro, they had to use the money.
They had to use it, right? They had to use it.
Bro,
At this point,
they could have kept that. They could have kept that hit until next free some of that.
No, they can't. They can't.
Oh yeah, right. Because the new rule, right? The new rule, right?
They can't.
Bro.
Yeah.
They can't.
Bro.
Yeah,
They
can't
use that money.
They
pay Fred.
Oh yeah, they could have. Yeah, Kyrie. I'm with that. Christian Wood, but Dylan Brooks. I mean, hey,
Dylan Brooks is a good signing.
But he said veteran leadership. That's what Rockets coach said.
Too much money, but not a bad signing. There's too much bread.
All right, Chris. Wait, Chris. Go ahead, finish it off. I'm just going to
not to mention they signed Fred VanVleet like he
for veteran presence. Veteran presence.
Veteran.
Hold on.
To what? Gatekeep your top three.
That's what. Listen. That's what.
I got this, boy.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Veteran presence, my ass. What the hell are you talking about?
That's what the Rockets coach said. He said
a veteran presence is giving somebody a 2-year deal with maybe $40 million. That nigga got almost. I'm sorry, I said the word. He got $200 million.
I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna cut that out. Don't worry.
What?
I gotta figure out the timestamp first. Screenshot it. Okay.
Let's go with the next loser. Let's go with the next loser. The Golden State Warriors. Listen, I know my boy Jordan Poole cannot stay on the team. But what the hell are they thinking against Chris Paul? What the hell is wrong with them? Do they want to win again? They ain't fucking bugging. Come on now. They got Chris Paul. Listen, maybe a decade ago it would have been nice to see. Maybe on 2K it'll be nice to see. But ain't no way in hell Chris Paul and Steph Curry gonna work on the same damn court. With one running around the court like a bear flying out of hell. Yo, one can't get up that court out twisting his ankle. Let's stop right there.
Wait, hold on. Can I ask a quick question while we on the Warriors?
Go ahead, Kyrie.
Please.
Re-sign Draymond to that $25 million a year.
I'm not mad at that. 25 is, mind you.
Well, like you said earlier,
that's pay stubs.
Kyrie, what Marcus Smart to the Celtics is what the heart and soul. I mean, that's why Jordan Poole they traded Jordan Poole because they couldn't coexist with each other.
No, they traded Jordan Poole because he got
snuffed. Well, that's no. In all honesty, I feel like listen.
Sleep, my boy.
This is what I'm saying. If Jordan Poole had played well in the playoffs, possibly he might have still been on the team.
No, he wouldn't.
Played,
no, he wouldn't.
No, he
No,
wouldn't.
he wouldn't. He was
No,
gone.
But-
he was out
He was
bro.
gone.
No,
He was out of
but
there.
no, but he's but
Bro, he was
Ain't no-
tweaking
ain't no
before
but.
the playoffs even started.
Bro, ain't no but. Everybody knew he was gone. Everybody knew he was not staying with that team.
oh man.
I have like a 3-way tie for third place. Let's see how I can put this. I'm
All
gonna go
right.
with the Sixers. I'm gonna go with the Sixers.
Ah, bro.
What? Yes, I'm going with the
Let me
Sixers.
go next.
Your biggest loser signed Pat Bev and Mo
Let me
Bamba.
go
Oh!
Let me go next. Let me go next. Let me
Yo.
That was your biggest signings? Listen,
Let me go next.
Listen, y'all didn't have much of a bench to begin with. And your 3 top signings were Montrezl Harrell, who y'all barely played last time he was on the team.
Well,
Mo
that's because
Bamba,
Doc Rivers didn't play him, so we got a new coach.
Patrick Beverly.
He left already, bro.
I know, but Doc Rivers didn't play him. So it's like so Nick Nurse is the guy who utilizes his entire bench. We've seen him done it before. He's actually took a whole team without a superstar to 53.
Oh, you already convinced yourself of it, bro.
I'm trying to convince myself, but go ahead, Jay. Wait, Chris, go ahead. Finish what you got to say. I'm going to swing to J-Dub. Go ahead. Go ahead, Chris.
I got another one. Chicago Bulls. Let's talk about Chicago Bulls. Not what Seam was on the call to hear this. They really gave Vucevic like he was the fucking answer. $60 million on a 3-year deal, and they already think about trading Zach LaVine. They don't want to do shit.
They traded him to us. They traded him to us. So.
Oh my God.
All right. And this is the last team that's tied for a 3-way tie. I'm gonna say it, Mark. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. Your Dallas Mavericks. I understand the Kyrie signing was great. Y'all can sit up beside that. What the hell are y'all doing?
Grant Williams there.
Yeah, Grant Williams.
Thank you.
13 mil though.
You said thank you for what though?
That's not a bad signing. Grant
Thank
Williams.
you. It's not.
Rashawn Holmes. Derek Lively's a draft pick. That's not a bad move.
Bro, Derek Lively.
That's a sustainable move. Kyrie
Bro, they didn't even want him, bro. They didn't even want him.
They wanted Taylor Hendricks.
They wanted Taylor Hendricks.
Oh, yeah, that is true. They did want Taylor
But
Hendricks.
listen,
they did,
as
but
far as the Mavericks go, they did get better. They did address the need and they did address the weakness as far as size in the front court and defense. They like you said, Rashawn Holmes, Derek Lively, and Grant Williams. They all bring defense and they all bring some type of versatility. But I just feel like it wasn't too much of an overpay, but you did overpay Grant Williams.
But they needed defense. They had no defense prior. Well, I guess
bro,
he's a
he
rookie.
ain't even really.
I mean, listen, who did the Mavs
Grant really not strapping like that.
I mean,
you relying on him to guard the other team best perimeter player though.
Well, see,
that's
I feel like the issue is the Blazers match the offer from.
Bro, he in the West now.
If they got Matisse and Grant, I feel like this converation is different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Portland
get a chance to get to the Blazers.
Hey, Chris started laughing.
I'm a big Jimmy Grant fan. I am, and I don't know how he swindled the Blazers to give it.
He never made an All-Star ever.
Shout out Q.
He swindled the Blazers.
Blazers my team.
Hey, I want his agent. I know that much. Never made an All-Star.
You know what hurts them? You know what hurts the most about being a Jimmy Grant fan? He's about to start having Tobias Harrison comparisons at this point.
God, thank you, because that's what he got.
Nah, he's better than him.
He is better than him. He is.
No,
but
I say this as he is better than him, but Jimmy Grant ain't making no All-NBA first team now. No time.
He's not making an All-Star team.
Real.
He never made an All, and he's getting paid like one.
Right.
All right, Chris.
Yeah,
you know what, Chris?
GM of the year.
GM of the year. All right.
Listen, everybody else is losing too. Let's go, Denver. We running this shit back with Apple's breath. Kudos to you for getting paid. Somebody go, because I got everything I need to say.
All right. So we was on the most underrated, because I guess at this point everyone picked out who had the worst signing in terms of free agency so far. So Kyrie, you already gave your most underrated, unless you have another one you want to throw in there before I swing to somebody else. Who's your most underrated team?
I can't think of one right now, but I'll let you know if something pop up for me. The Sasha Vezenkov one, that was my underrated.
All right, so that's what you got so far. Mar, what team you think had the most underrated signings and why?
I'm gonna go with the Grizzlies, only because Ja's gonna miss 25 games, and they got Marcus Smart and Derrick Rose. So
Rose and guns.
I feel like feel like those are good. I feel like those are good locker room people that you would want. Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart. They're gonna hold people accountable. They're gonna Dylan Brooks wasn't really nobody, so I mean they got Marcus Smart, so it's like they upgraded from Dylan Brooks.
Talk your talk.
I mean, having Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson, and a supporting cast with Derrick Rose also in the locker room and starting for Ja and then coming off the bench eventually. Well, he probably won't be starting for Ja. Who knows? It's gonna. I feel like it's underrated.
It's up for grabs. The point guard position is up for grabs.
So I definitely feel like the Grizzlies are still gonna be one of those teams that are still good without Ja. Then when he comes back, it's gonna be even greater because he's just I'm just rocking with the Grizzlies. I feel like that was definitely underrated, John.
Good. All right, hold on. Definitely, I didn't think about the Grizzlies. I'm glad you brought them up. Lodge, I'm gonna swing to you. Go ahead, Lodge. What team you think had the most underrated signing that kind of flew under the radar that people not really noticing?
Well, I have to agree with Omar. I almost forgot about them. They can be a winner, honestly, considering what they're going through right now. Other than that, I don't have another one.
That's fair. J-Dub, who you got in mind?
We're doing underrated, right?
Underrated. We already did the worst signings and the best teams who won, so we're on underrated. We're on the last part.
Throwing out there again. First signing, Sixers. Don't care. We know what it is. It's a fact. You're a Sixers fan, and you should be on the same page.
I know.
Until we figure out what's going on with our front office.
Right.
Underrated, though, again, this only comes to what's going on with the trades, right? But if you think about, nobody's talking about it enough. If you think about what the Miami Heat is doing, they have the most underrated signings. We talk about two key names, Josh Richardson and Thomas Bryant. Because I'm of the mindset, and I'm gonna throw another name for you. No, listen. I'm gonna throw another name for you.
Bro, do you want me to bring up the list of names I heard you say today?
No. You're not. I'm naming guys as superstars. I'm already thinking they're gonna get Dame because Dame only wants to play for the Heat.
Finish. Go ahead.
So the Miami Heat are locked in on bringing in Dame, and another player they want to bring in is Jay Crowder because they believe Jay Crowder is going to be whatever, right?
He's 50.
You talk about bringing in Josh Richardson. You're going to run Dame, Josh Richardson, Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder. Bam! It's the best team in the East because the East is weak. The East is weak, and defensively, it's the best. Yeah, defensively, it's the best.
Why did Dame get traded like
the East is weak? They're the best team in the East defensively, and they can shoot. Then you bring in Thomas Bryant, where the Bam will finally have the first big off the bench that can actually be a big.
Yeah,
he never had a backup. Dwayne Dedman wasn't nothing, and who was the last year? Cody Zeller. He finally got a backup.
He down his head. His little mic coming.
We said underrated signings. Those are underrated. Josh Richardson can play defense and can shoot. Dame is going to be the best signing in free agency if you bring him in as the Miami.
Bro, you ain't going to like this recording if you don't go there. That's all I'm going to say, guys.
That's all. I'm not going to like the recording if you don't. But Dame's, it's so many rumors coming out. Again, I'm hearing things from my end as well where you're seeing Dame's talking about the fact that if he gets traded anywhere but the Heat, he won't show up for training camp.
I mean, he had 4 years on his contract. He's not really under. He doesn't have much weight to pull.
If you're trading for him and he sits the entire year and he sits the entire next year,
you know how much money he's gonna lose? I don't think he's missing
that. Dame's a multi-millionaire, top 75 player. He don't care. He want to play for a chip.
Maybe endorsements might save him.
He want to play for a chip. Dame probably saved his bread by now. I'm hoping, right? You're hoping these dudes have saved their bread. Too. So if he's so prolonged for the Heat, I'm believing that if the Heat get Dame, they're the best team in the East.
And what are they giving up?
Bringing a Jay Crowder, a Josh Richardson, a Thomas Bryant, whatever else they bring in. The two free agents that are sleepers, though, is Josh Richardson and Thomas Bryant because nobody's talking about them. They're underrated because they had kind of down years. But Richardson's been a good player. He knows the Heat culture. He knows Eric Spoelstra. He knows what he brings to the table. And next to a Dame and a Jimmy, he'll fit right in seamlessly when it comes to defense and shooting. Same with Jay Crowder, who's been there. Thomas Bryant will be the best backup that Bam's ever had. And we're not Bam's not even that great as a big, but he needs a backup center. That's not a Cody Zeller or Kevin Love. So these are underrated signings for me if they get Dame. And I feel like I have to stress that enough. If they get Dame. When this podcast is up and they don't get Dame, I'll look like a fool because it doesn't mean nothing to them. And then maybe Jimmy carries them to a finals again. But if they get Dame, these signings will be huge for them going forward, I think.
So,
All right,
if they don't get Dame, what's their outlook for the season going in? If these are just the signings they make and these are just the moves they make,
8th seed again, but then again, we see what they did in the 8th seed. We seen it. Like this is 4 years straight of 2 conference finals appearances and 2 finals appearances, right? Like, and
that's
we know what
crazy.
Jimmy does.
That's really
We know what
crazy.
Jimmy
Oh
Butler
my
does.
goodness.
Wait.
Tyler will be healthy. Duncan will be healthy. Kyle Lowry still be there. They'll have Josh Richardson. They'll have their guys.
bro.
They'll do something. I just don't. I feel like Dame is the guy they need at this point, where they're like, we can't get over the hump, right? They just can't. They made it to 2 finals, and they can't beat another superstar without having a superstar. Jimmy's a 2. I think he's accepted that he's a 2. They need a 1, a clear facto guy that even at 33, I don't know, Dame might be 34, can still give you 71 in a single game, regardless. That's a guy you need come playoffs. That's what's going to get you them shots. And if Jimmy has to be the 2, I feel like Jimmy's so willing to be a 2 that he's basically been telling the Heat, please go get Dame. Please go get Dame. I'm begging you, go get Dame. Keep Bam. Get rid of whoever else you need. Go get Bam. Go get Dame. Like, I feel like you can tell, you can feel it.
J-Dub. All right, so listen, I'm going to let Chris finish it off the underrated. And after that, if anyone's got to put their own input, ask any questions, we'll do that after we get to the last topic. Chris, you finish it off for us. Which team had the most underrated signing to you so far in this free agency?
Shout out to the Knicks. I like that Dante DiVincenzo signing.
I
really like that. I like that because y'all already had Quentin Grimes there. And y'all just got Dante DiVincenzo afterwards. And Quentin Grimes can probably get you, if he actually plays like he's supposed to, he might mess around and give you 15 a game. Turn to a quality scorer, 3-and-D type player. And DiVincenzo already just going to be a lockdown defender. I like that. And the other one, Mar already said it. I think more so Derrick Rose than Marcus Smart for Memphis. I only say that because John looked up to Derrick Rose growing up. Obviously watching during his career, so Derrick Rose can obviously tell him, like, you know, he can tell him to get his neck thing. He gonna listen to somebody like Derrick Rose in that locker room. I mean, Marcus Smart obviously helps too, but I think Derrick Rose is the more underrated signing to me. So definitely DiVincenzo and Derrick Rose.
I love that D Rose, still getting the love around the league. Love that because he deserved it, man. His career didn't have to play out like that. Thanks to Tom Thibodeau.
You know what? There actually was one more underrated signing. I forgot. I can't believe I'm gonna say this for that bargain. That's an underrated signing. Russell Westbrook on a 2-year, $8 million contract. Underrated. I'll be honest.
We didn't even talk about that. That's
definitely a bargain.
Okay, that's it.
Especially got KJ Martin too.
Yeah,
ooh,
that's
a good one too.
But
that's right. All right. Well, the Clippers make it. Well, it's all based on Kawhi and Paul. I mean, whether they trade Paul George or not, if they still want to do that.
I mean, they ain't gonna do nothing either way. But I mean, it's still underrated.
No, we'll do it either way. All right. So wait, Mari, I know you're itching to say something. You had a lot to go back against. Go ahead, Mari. I know you're waiting. I'm gonna put it on you. Then we'll wrap it up with that.
No, bro, it's just like the names I've been hearing tonight, and the fact that my man Lodge couldn't even get off Dante DiVincenzo. Like, people that said, like, it's the fact that Taurean Prince, Kyle Lowry, oh my goodness, Duncan Robinson.
All right, listen.
Who else? Jackson Hayes. Like, I don't want to say Gabe Vincent anymore because I'm gonna get slaughtered. I don't know why. Like, all of a sudden, everybody's a Gabe Vincent fan. All of a sudden, so it's just like the names tonight, man. I know free agency has been terrible, but my man couldn't even get off Dante DiVincenzo, and then I'm hearing Taurean Prince. It's just but we flowing tonight.
Shell shock.
Who would you rather talk about, Jeremy Grant? We all know you got the Tobias deal. Who else we talking about?
It's just been madness tonight.
Just complete madness. So I think it's time we end this episode 118 of the Restricted Zone podcast. I want to give a big shout out to the special guest J-Dub from Straight to the Point podcast. Thanks a lot, man. You definitely made this a hell of a lot more funnier than it usually is. Shout out to Kyrie, Lodge, Chris, and Mar. You guys were phenomenal as usual. And definitely, J-Dub, tell them where they can check out from Straight to the Point podcast and the platform they can check you out on.
Shout us out, man. Definitely check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Zencaster, because we've been on that lately. Straight to the Point Podcast. Follow me at JWHughes. For all the Sixers fans, check out Kelly Oubre and Will Barton. Future Sixers could be trash.
Oh yeah, I also heard John.
Since we naming names, I'm just gonna throw out some more role player names. Shout us out. Davis Bertans might be coming to the team. Like, we don't know anymore. Sixers fans are down bad. I'd rather be any other team but a Sixers fan right now. I'm just
Whoa! All right.
Josh Richardson.
Let's.
I'm
just remembering the names that was said tonight, man. Like
Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, well,
I
Bambi said
Mo Bamba.
All
all right, listen. Wait.
Augustine's a free
Wendell
agent, guys.
Carter.
Just throwing it out there.
Markel
Mark's a
Fultz.
free agent.
Markel Fultz.
Wait, no. That's it. Listen.
Javon Carter's a bull. Just throwing it out there.
Javon.
No,
Wait.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah, holla at y'all.
Hold on.
Terrence Davis is a free agent.
Hold on, guys. Matter of fact, hold on. I can't believe it. I was so shocked. Listen, let's just end this right. So, yeah, J-Dub, you tell them on the platform. You can follow it. You can also check out the Restricted Zone Podcast. Follow us at Instagram, Restricted Zone Pod. You can follow us on all streaming platforms. I'm talking about from Apple, Spotify, iHeart, you name it, we're there, especially on YouTube. Leave a like, subscribe, and definitely turn on post notifications. You can definitely stay tuned to the latest episodes we drop. Thank you guys for tuning in for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed Corn this as much as we enjoyed. And listen, have a great week, man. Thank you.